Wow. Um, so here I am in my college office. It's busting out really. I mean, I've even got two stories. Oh, I'll show you around, and you of course see upstairs. That's where all the magic happens, where I do some of my paintings. I might show you one later on. But anyhow, I was having a little think about iconology and the difference with iconography. And I started wandering off in my thoughts, thinking about clouds, like you do. And I thought, oh no, I'll put this on YouTube, because there ain't much about clouds and iconology on YouTube as far as I know. I ain't looked, but... Anyway, I started off by looking at the Black Country flag. Yeah, I've seen it. I've got a badge here, look. Here you am. It ain't very old. You know, it's only sort of, I don't know. I'm older than that. And I'm younger than I look. I'm a bit prematurely grey, that's all, really. But it was designed by some young wench in Stourbridge, as far as I know. But as far as iconography is concerned, what's the difference between that and iconology? Don't really matter much, but I might as well tell you what I think. Icon as in, I don't know, picture, something visual like a symbol or whatever, icon in your own. Graphy as in writing. Now anything with ology on the end of it means it's the study of. So iconography is what artists use, what they do, what they're them drawing upon various artistic conventions. Right, that's your iconography that sometimes they're put into the paintings. And iconology is the study of that. So what about the iconography of the Black Country flag? Well, obviously you've got your chain, which is, I suppose, symbolic of the industrial heritage of the Black Country, and you've got, I don't know, is this a bottle kiln or something? Anyway, lots of them kilns used to be around the place. And obviously you've got the red and black. Now, I suppose that refers to that famous saying by that bloke called Burritt, I think it was, who said the Black Country was what? Black by day and red by night, wore it. Is it the ground that was black and the sky red? Don't really matter. I've seen a red ground with the underground fire with the in the woods once. Coal seam on fire. It was on fire for months, years probably. That was a bit red on occasions. But I suppose with the furnaces going, you'd be reflected off the clouds, wouldn't it, or off the whatever is in the sky. Speaking of which, I suppose with all the furnaces churning out soot and grime, I suppose it was a bit black in the sky and all. It ain't like that nowadays, because there ain't no factories, there ain't no work. I've said that before. But I suppose one nice thing, if you can call it nice, you used to get some really busting sunsets. Go up Barbeacon, look out towards Dudley. I suppose it was because of the atmospheric pollution, people used to say. All sorts of colours in the sky there was. But nevertheless, sky's a bit clearer over Darlaston nowadays. You could lie on a bench in Hickman Park with a can of Banksy's, looking at the sky. You'd be in paradise, really. I'd like to do that. I ain't going to see my favourite cloud though. And you might ask, well, what's your favourite cloud? I'll tell you, it's, now let me think. Altocumulus lenticularis. It's the one that people mistake for flying saucers sometimes, and it depends on certain meteorological and geographical conditions, which I don't get in Darlaston. But that surprised you, Dave? Altocumulus lenticularis. Why do you call a cloud that? Fancy name. Anyway, it's alto as in high, cumulus heap, lenticularis means lentil shaped, obviously. Now these terms come from a book by someone who was called the father of meteorology. I think he was Luke Howard, donkeys years ago, 1803. I think it was out. And he came up with a system for cloud classification. We still use it today, and it's based on the same as they use for animals and plants from Carl von Linnaeus, called the Linnaean system, with genus and species. You know, when you get Homo sapiens, Homo is the genus, sapiens is the species, you know, as opposed to, let's say, I don't know, Homo neanderthalaris, or is it Neanderthal? Anyway, different type, different species. Or if you think about your great tit, the titmice family is Paridae, the great tit is Parus major, Parus is the genus. Anyway, I won't go on about that, you just get me going. But he came up with three main categories of clouds: cumulus, stratus and cirrus, and sort of intermediate ones and what we might call compound modifications, in order to accommodate all the transitions occurring between all the different types of clouds. So the basic ones, using the Latin terminology, are cumulus, which means, as I just told you, heap; stratus meaning layer; cirrus meaning a curl of air; altum has to do with height, as in altitude; and nimbus, I think, is referring to the upper air height. Is it the troposphere? I don't know. So these generic classifications, these can be combined. So for instance, if we've got altocumulus, refers to high heaped clouds. And so in keeping with this, what we call Linnaean nomenclature, Mr. Howard devised this set of categories, like different species. So we might get stratus nebulosus, layered and nebulous, or cumulus humilis, meaning a heap near the ground. You get subdivision of different varieties using the same sort of Latin terminology, like I don't know, vertebratus, as in your backbone, looking like a backbone; undulatus, making waves; radiatus, being radiant. There's one about having holes in as well, lacunae. So you get something like cumulus lacunosus, you know, like a cumulus cloud with holes in it. It's great, ain't it? You've got all these different terms, different words, all for the different types of clouds. And I did a few paintings of them, like I said. That yellow one at the back there, that was me trying to capture what it might have been like before the dinosaurs were around, and there's lots of volcanoes going off, lots of sulphur in the atmosphere, making it look yellow. That's why it's a yellow painting. And I've got other ones as well, when there's lots of rain. Yeah, I suppose during the flood, Noah's Ark maybe, I don't know. I've got this one. It ain't very good, but it's, you know, I'm just experimenting with different types of clouds. I've got dozens of them. But anyway, I thought I'd tell you about iconology and iconography. It ain't the same as astronomy and astrology, you know. They're completely different types of terms. I mean, astronomy is like studying the stars, ain't it? And astrology is somewhat soft. I'm a Cancerian myself. Shows how soft I am. Anyway, hang on a minute. Oh, I better get going. Try a bit. Try.